Many homes or internet providers do use fritz boxes, and while the routers are actually quite good, sometimes they are configured very poorly. This can leave you open to security vulnerabilities, which isn't ideal, of course. You can save power, you can increase the speed of your internet even, and this all is very easy to do, so just follow along and check if you need to change anything. First of all, go to fritz.box, and here the fritzbox password is on your router itself. For me, I saved it in Chrome. But just check your router, I will leave an image on screen on where to find it, and click login. Once you're here, you can see a quick overview. We're not going to change anything in this overview, and some stuff is blurred out for privacy reasons. And you can see right here, I am on the current latest FritzOS version, which is 8.21. If you're already on an older version, definitely follow along because you do need to update this to stay secure. First, we are going to start from the bottom, and we're going to System and here Update. Here, the first thing to do is to click Find New FritzOS, especially if you're already on an older version. And if it says you're up to date, great. If it tells you to update, just update and follow along after the update is complete. It shouldn't take too long. Next, I don't want to sign in every time and keep updating my router every few weeks or something, and I want this to be automatic. For me, my FritzOS was delivered with level 1, which means no updates are installed whatsoever, which is just a very bad idea. So definitely change it to level 2 or level 3. Level 3 updates a bit more often, which I personally prefer. I checked right here, it starts updating at 4 AM. I'm well asleep by that time. So for me, I don't notice the updates at all, which is how I do want it. So for me, I choose level 3. Next up, if the country isn't right here, please select the right country. And also, if you speak a different language, you can change it right here. Next up, we got the buttons and LEDs, and here you can save some power and some annoyances. For me, I don't have an info display, and for me, I would just have no selection right here. I do have some LED lights on the router, and for this, I just turn them off. If you just want to still see the lights, you can put them a bit weaker, save some power. Not that much probably, but every bit helps. But for me, it is in my room, so at night, it is really annoying if I just see the LEDs flashing at all times. So for me, I just turned off the LEDs completely, and I'm quite happy with that. Next up, there are some buttons on the router, and sometimes I accidentally press the button that disables the Wi-Fi, which is very annoying to diagnose. And then I found I just pressed that button and didn't know that. So for me, I just enable keylock so the buttons don't do anything, which to me is definitely the preferred way. If I want to make a change in the settings, I can do so right here, and that works for me. For energy, we are going to look into some things that can save energy and potentially even improve speeds. So if you want to be very power efficient, you can click the energy savings mode right here. But we are going to do it manually to have a bit of a better setup. First of all, if you always sleep between a certain time and don't want your phone to update or anything, you can enable a Wi-Fi schedule. Just disabling the Wi-Fi at night also saves some electro waves if you're worried about that. And that can be quite nice, save some power, and that's good. For the energy consumption, this is just for the nerds about us, and you can see what is running and how much power it uses. Same for the statistics. Next up, there is something important, and these are the Wi-Fi settings. First of all, if you want your custom Wi-Fi name, you can have that right here. I just put it to my name since it's a bit easier to connect to. And people can fill in the password or scan the QR code. I definitely have to blur that out. You can see all your connected devices. Next, a bit more important, is your Wi-Fi channels, and this is actually something that can matter quite some. For me, I live in a small studio, and I don't need the slower 2.4 GHz frequency at all. 5 GHz has plenty of range around me. I want it to be the latest Wi-Fi standard, of course, and I found that channel 44 for me was pretty much always open, and I don't want it to keep switching channels. So for me, I'm saving power by disabling the 2.3 GHz band, and I'll make sure that my devices never switch between the bands and drop in connection. So for me, this is great. Next up, you might see that the transmitter power is at 50%. And this has a very specific reason. As I said before, my studio isn't too big, and even with 50%, I have full range at the other side of my studio. So for me, there is no need to have the full transmitter power. So this again saves power. And honestly, I don't see any difference in speeds even when testing the Wi-Fi speeds with speed test. And if everyone in my building would do this, there would be less interference and the speeds might even be higher as we're not fighting for the same range at all times. So if you have a small apartment or if you have just a router set up around you, honestly, 50%, 25% might be cutting it a bit low, but 50% is definitely doable, and I would even recommend this. For security, by default, mine was set to WPA2, and honestly, there is no issue in setting it to WPA2 and 3. It's just that devices that do support the higher encryption quality can use it, so I would put it to this version at all times. As said before, in the power efficiency, you can schedule your network so it's turned off at night, which sometimes helps for you. For me, it's not really optimal. You can enable guest access if you want to have a closed off Wi Fi network for your guests only. Personally, I just have my friends and family connect to my own network, but if you have a lot of guests coming over, this might be helpful for you. I don't use USB storage, but you can add a USB storage function to your router and have some more network storage if you're into that. You can, if you want, use a DNS server like Cloudflare or Google. This is completely optional. You can just have the default one from your internet service provider. So that is the optimal setup for your Fritzbox to make sure you're updated, you're secure, maybe even save some power or increase your speeds. If this helped, definitely let me know. If you need help with other devices, drop a link in the comments and subscribe so you can see the future videos. And I hope I can see you in the next one.